Hi, I'm Mia, just a regular, happy girl. Until one day, I stumbled across a help post online that chilled me to the bone.
What if my pet dies because I can't take care of it?
But inside the cage, there was clearly a barely alive person. A handsome young boy, curled up, weak, his head tilted, eyes empty, staring right at the camera. And the comments below.
Wow. No way. The blogger is keeping a purebred human? That's way too hard to handle. Maybe try a different breed.
Another said.
That blogger's purebred looks great. How did you get one? I want one too.
There were more comments, giving the blogger tips. And they were creepy. It was like they were really treating the person in the cage as a pet. Some even advertised new breeds of mutants for sale. I thought it was a dark joke, until one new comment caught my eye.
Based on the dozen purebreds I've lost before, the key to raising them is simple. Never let them know they're pets.
Reading that sent a chill down my spine. And then someone replied to the comment.
Also, a heads up. Purebreds aren't like mutants. Besides their environment, you've got to watch their mental state and give them some interaction, or they won't survive. Honestly though, mutants are way easier to raise, and you can shape them however you want.
Shaking, I reported the post and quickly logged off. Just as I hesitated about calling the police, Naomi suddenly jumped into my arms. Naomi was a gift from my boyfriend, a gorgeous ragdoll with different colored eyes. She's calm, smart, almost like she understands me. Now this is a real pet. When my boyfriend came home, I was directing Naomi to fetch things for me. I still can't believe my luck, landing a tall, rich, sweet guy like him. Today, he brought my favorite roast duck, and I happily jumped on him with hugs and kisses.
All right. Wash your hands. Dinner's ready. Tomorrow's the weekend, so where do you want to go?
Yeah, we've already been to all the city parks. Can we go somewhere else? Most couples go to the movies, or camping, or have picnics.
I'm usually too lazy to go out alone, but my boyfriend worries I'd get bored staying home. So almost every weekend he takes me out, though I don't know why he's so obsessed with parks. Every time, it's a different one. During dinner, I suddenly remembered that post I saw earlier. I pulled out my phone and handed it to my boyfriend, hoping he could give me some advice. He looked at it, and without missing a beat said,
Maybe it's some kind of special task from the owner. And most of those comments, they're probably just joking along with the blogger.
But no one questioned it. I took back my phone and refreshed the comments, and the blogger had just posted an update.
It's dead. Purebreds are great pets, but too hard to keep alive.
Dead?
I froze, and my phone slipped from my hands. The boy was dead. My boyfriend picked up the phone and glanced at the screen.
They were just joking. Don't be sad.
No, I have to call the police.
You don't even know if it's real, or where they are. How would you even report it? Come on, it's fine.
So, what movie do you want to see tomorrow?
The next day, at the cinema, while waiting for tickets, I scrolled my phone again. The post hadn't gained any new comments, and the blogger's page was silent. Uneasy, I took a couple of steps, when suddenly, a girl came out of nowhere and collided with me.
Hey, could you watch where you're going?
By the way, the new movies out are pretty good.
The new movies are great, but shouldn't you apologize? The new movies are really good, you know.
I looked at her and felt something was off.
Hey, what's wrong?
Suddenly, my boyfriend appeared behind me. He grabbed my shoulder and without saying a word, pulled me away.
That girl was weird. She bumped into me and didn't even apologize. And she kept repeating the same thing.
Maybe she was just recommending movies. Probably a staff member from the theater.
A chilling fear hit me. I hadn't told him what she said. How could he know from so far away? I picked a new sci-fi movie about saving Earth. It just came out, and the reviews were amazing. But every scene felt eerily familiar. I even guessed the ending. Confusion completely took over. I had no idea what was happening. My boyfriend asked me what was wrong. I shook my head, told him I was fine, and asked him to get me a hot drink. Once he left, I took a deep breath and nervously approached the stranger in the next seat. I planned to say something random, just to see if he'd only repeat the same thing. But before I could speak, He turned toward me angrily. He looked at the empty seat next to him, then snapped.
Hey, you spilled your drink on me.
His white shirt was wet, with a stain that looked like cola. But I wasn't holding any drink. The screen went white for a moment, and I clearly saw his face. It was identical to my boyfriend's.
No way! This shirt's expensive. You owe me. Take out your phone and give me your contact info.
His words felt strangely familiar, and suddenly I felt dizzy. Everything went black, and I collapsed in the seat. I don't know how long passed before a warm drink was pressed into my hand. Slowly, my vision focused. My boyfriend was crouched in front of me, holding my face in his hands.
What's wrong?
I didn't answer him. Instead, I looked to my left, but in this row, besides me and my boyfriend, there was no one else. It felt like what just happened was a hallucination, but it felt so real. It was as if I had really spilled my drink on my boyfriend in the cinema. But today was our first time ever watching a movie together. Something's not right. Is it my perfect boyfriend? Or is it me? Come to think of it, I barely know anything about him. He just appeared in my life one day, and we instantly fell in love. When he saw how exhausted I was from work, he told me to quit and follow my dreams. But ever since I quit, I've been stuck at home. Just me, my gadgets, and my cat. My biggest excitement every day is waiting for him to come home. My parents call once in a while, and my best friend texts me sometimes. Other than that, I have zero social life. That's not normal, not at all. Then it hit me. I'm like his pet. My only purpose is to please him. The word pet sent a shiver down my spine. In that post, every single comment mentioned purebred humans. But who would ever keep another human as a pet? A sharp pain shot through my head like it was splitting open. After that, I couldn't even focus on the date anymore. I spent the whole weekend at home, frantically searching online for information about purebred humans. But strangely, I couldn't find anything related, except for that one seemingly normal help post. I clicked on the picture again and studied it closely. Inside the cage, there was definitely a person, a very handsome young man. Other than that, everything seemed normal, but I felt like I was being consumed by unease and fear. Finally, it was Monday. After my boyfriend left for work, I rushed straight to the cinema. I needed to find that girl who bumped into me the other day to confirm my suspicions. The cinema was just as crowded as it had been over the weekend. I retraced my steps to where I had bumped into her. I circled the area, walking back and forth for about 10 minutes. Suddenly, a girl appeared in front of me out of nowhere. Without thinking, I grabbed her hand. She immediately turned to face me, smiling brightly.
The new movies are really good, you know?
What kind of person repeats the same line over and over? Anyone who's played a game knows. It's like an NPC, a non-playable character. If I'm in a game, then what game is this? The thought from that creepy post, the terrifying idea, it was becoming more real by the second. But how did I even get involved? Why can't I remember anything? The biggest question is, how do I get out of this? When I got home and opened my phone, I saw that the post had been updated again.
Thanks to the online community, I've been given a beautiful purebred human, complete with a care guide. I'm sure this new cage will keep it alive.
But in the picture, it's a woman who looks exactly like me. And she's not in a cage. No, she's in a room decorated in pink. The room is filled with dolls. This room, it's so familiar. The layout is nearly identical to mine. Below the post, many people commented saying they'd love to keep a purebred human like her, even if it took some extra time and effort. But the poster didn't respond to any of the comments. In that moment, a chilling wave of fear crawled up from my feet, freezing my blood. With trembling hands, I opened the private message chat with the poster and typed out a message.
Hello, can I ask how to take care of a purebred human?
It wasn't long before I got a reply.
Purebred humans have high self-awareness, so just make sure they don't realize they're pets. Everything else is like taking care of a special breed.
It's my first time taking care of a human. I'm not sure what to do. Could you explain it in more detail? Thanks.
I wouldn't recommend a purebred human for beginners. Start with a mutant. They're easier to care for. They're docile, tough, and kind of cute. Well, the only downside is that they don't taste great. They have a weird, hard-to-stomach smell.
A picture followed, showing a small, childlike creature, like a 5 or 6-year-old, but monstrous. The creature had 4 eyes scattered unevenly across its face, and other facial features were chaotically placed. Its arms and legs were about the same length, and when standing, it had an unsettling, unnatural appearance. This was a mutant. Is this really human aesthetics? How could someone call it kind of cute? I immediately closed the chat. I stared at my photo again, trying to compare it to the picture of my room to see if there were any differences. After carefully examining it, I noticed something odd. In the lower left corner of the image, the floor reflected a hand, but from the blurry shadow, it didn't look like a human hand at all. It looked more like an animal's claw, but the shadow was enormous. So, I opened the chat again.
Your purebred human is so beautiful. Can you tell me who gave it to you?
He wasn't hiding anything. And quickly, he sent me an account ID. His profile page was completely empty. I sat frozen at my desk, totally helpless about what was happening. I tried asking my parents and my best friend for help, but they all said I was overreacting. It made me wonder, are they really my people, or just NPCs the world dropped into my life? And judging by my boyfriend's reaction to the whole pureblood thing, he definitely knows more than he's telling me. So I decided to dig through his computer, hoping to find even the tiniest clue. While searching his files, I opened the browser. Of course, the entire history had been wiped clean. But honestly, restoring cookies isn't hard. Doesn't even take 2 minutes. Then I typed in the desktop link to that forum post, and the account that auto-logged in was that same totally empty ID. The pet of the poster was a gift from my boyfriend. After looking at the account's profile, I discovered my boyfriend hadn't just gifted one purebred to someone. Just from the messages on this account, he had sent out purebreds 7 times, and in every photo he sent, it was always my face. He had only one requirement for them: regularly update him on how they were taking care of them. After reading through the messages, I was shaking with cold, but I realized something. I'm not just my boyfriend's pet. The world I'm in right now might not even be real. I tried to push down my fear and kept searching through his computer. It didn't take long before I found a folder called Care Logs, and it was last updated yesterday. But the folder's contents looked like random gibberish. It wasn't just English, numbers, or symbols. There were characters I'd never seen before. I'm certain this isn't any coding language used by a program. But if this is a language, the thought of that possibility made me tremble. Because this is definitely not any language used on Earth. And if my boyfriend is using this kind of writing, what does that mean? I didn't even dare to imagine. Suddenly, a blinding light shot straight down from the sky into my room. The white glow was so intense, I couldn't even open my eyes. Then, something massive, like a giant mirror, covered my entire room. It blocked out the light, and I could finally see again. In that mirror, I saw my own reflection, panicked, lost, terrified. But before I could process what was happening, the mirror started to tremble, and then it pulled away, fast. That's when I realized it wasn't a mirror at all. It was a gigantic eye. What I had seen earlier was just its tiny pupil. Fear crept through me as I tried to comprehend how huge this thing must be. Slowly, I felt my consciousness slipping away, and just before everything went dark, I heard my boyfriend's voice.
The 18th observation experiment failed.